You're good.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor.
And I'm Josette.
And today we're focusing on our research project, which are bees and their pollination habits. Bees belong to the superfamily Apodia, and they play an important role in pollination and honey production. Bees get their nutrients from nectar and pollen, and they collect pollen and bring it back to their nest to feed it to their offspring. Depending on the species of bee, some collect pollen from a wide range of flowers, while others, known as specialists, focus on a certain species of plant. These are known as polyectic bees versus oligologic bees. Bees recognize flowers they desire to pollinate by using two things: a flower's odor and the UV pattern that the flower gives off. Since bees are able to smell, they prefer really sweet odors and they can see UV light, so they tend to prefer blue, purple, yellow, or white colored flowers.
So we conducted an observational study, and the independent variable of our study was color and height. Our dependent variable was the frequency of visits from honeybees. Our control variable was seasons, since we only looked specifically at bees and their pollination habits during the summer. Our co-founding variables were the differential rates of visits by honeybees between different species of flowering plants, since we weren't being specific about the plants that they were pollinating. We also looked into shape and scent. Our experimental unit was our individual bees, and our replicates were the number of samples taken. So our hypothesis is that we predicted that more bees will want to pollinate trees with light colored flowers compared to trees or shrubs with darker colored flowers.
So these videos that we captured support our hypothesis. So in the first video, I have a white flower colored tree. And on this tree, we can see that there are 4 to 5 bees that are pollinating flowers. There's a large amount of bees on this tree because of the surface area, which means that they're allowed to pollinate more flowers. Below this white colored tree, we have purple colored shrubs, which have, as you can see in a couple of seconds, they have no bees. And this can be due to the smell that it gives off and the color.
So as you can see from the next video, it was of an orange tree. And I assumed that there would be a large number of bees pollinating this tree because it has a high surface area as well as light colored flowers. From what I observed, there were about 5 bees pollinating, and there was even like noticeable competition, because if one bee got too close to another bee's flower, then they would kind of like fight each other off for it. The next video also supports our hypothesis because since this rose bush had white colored flowers, I assumed that there would also be a high number of bees. And even though there weren't as many as the orange bush, there was still about 3 bees from what I observed, which is a lot more compared to some of the other trees and shrubs that we're about to show you. So this video refutes our hypothesis because this pink shrub only has one noticeable bee on it from what I observed. And it refutes our hypothesis because it is a light colored flower, yet there were hardly any bees on it.
Here we have a white flowered tree, which is the same species as the tree before, but this one refutes the hypothesis because on this tree there were no bees found. Now this can be due. This is due to the low surface that it has. There aren't a lot of flowers on this tree, and bees want to pollinate flowers and shrubs with lots of bees on them. So this one has 0 amount of bees along with the purple shrubs below. In the next video, we have a red bush, which had actually a lot of bees present on it. It had like 3 to 4 bees present, and we can see that they're pollinating the flowers. This one refutes the hypothesis due to the color. It has a red color, but it has a lot of bees, which can be due to the smell that it gives off, the sweet smelling smell.
So based on the videos you just saw, we made a figure based off of the numbers of bees on each tree or shrub. So as you can see, the orange tree had the highest abundance of bees. There was about 5 of them. And this could possibly be due to the surface area or how big the tree was compared to the other observations that we made, and also the color of the flowers, which were white. The white rose bush also had a large number, probably due to the color of the flowers, which were also white. The red bush, although it was red, there were 2 bees on it. And the pink flower shrub had 1, which kind of refutes our hypothesis because it was a lightly colored flower. The purple shrub, on the other hand, had no bees whatsoever. And the white flower tree, like the orange tree, had a larger number due to the possible surface area and the color of the trees. And the white flower tree, with the low amount of bees, refuted our hypothesis as well, because even though it was a lightly colored flower, there were virtually no bees on it. So we would say, based off of our data and our observations, that it supports our hypothesis. The data does support the hypothesis. And to reiterate on what our hypothesis was, we believe that more bees will want to pollinate trees with light colored flowers compared to trees or shrubs with darker colored flowers. So this supported the hypothesis because there were practically 0 to very little bees on the purple or light pink colored shrubs. And the orange tree and the bushes of white flowers had a larger number, if not a good abundance of population size.
So our future goals that we would like it to look into would be more of the aroma aspect of the flower, and how that affects the bees wanting to pollinate that flower. We would also like to look into how the electromagnetic waves factor into bee pollination and why light colored flowers may not be chosen for pollination. Lastly, we want to know, do pollination preferences that the bees have changed depending on the season that we're in? And that is it for our research. Thank you very much.